Crusaders Nation, what's going on? Today we have a filmmaker who is flipping the script on comedy, action, and pure indie ingenuity, baby. I mean, this powerhouse of a writer, director, producer, geez, I need a room for so many roles he plays, has just unleashed his freshest short film, Leverage. All right. And it's a holiday mashup of laughs, chaos, and pure cinematic hustle, baby. I mean, think John Wick meets John Hughes. You know what I'm saying? So we're diving deep into how this man cooked this action comedy short, hustled it through the festival circuit, and channeled his love of comics into every stunt and wisecrack. So strap in because you're about to get the full story from the man himself, the future legend in the making. Welcome, the one and only Mr. Michael Charron.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. That's the most exciting introduction I've ever gotten. So,
well, listen, your future is in store for more when you start getting them Emmys and Academy Awards and all that, all that good shit, bro. All that's gonna be coming your way, bro. You're gonna be an EGOT winner in no time because I heard you also sing on the side, bro. You know, right?
No. One thing I don't do.
That's the one thing. That's the one hat you won't hold. Gotcha. Aware. All right, so my brother, talk to me. Hold up. Leverage, right? The title says action comedy gold, but what's the wild premise behind this one?
Leverage was it was kind of a journey to get there, but Leverage is an action comedy. Grew up loving action films. I grew up loving comic books, action films, all that stuff, right? And comedy, right? And so as I got into making my own films, I leaned to comedy because that's the easiest thing to do. I mean, not easy, but like on a budget, right? Action and superheroes and stuff is hard. And we've been doing these different comedies every year, short films, and I wanted to push myself, like to do something different. So I reached out to all my usual collaborators, crew, cast, and said, "Hey, you guys want to do an action film?" Expecting everyone to say, "No, come on, we can't do that." And everyone was like, "Yeah, I kind of want to do that." And so then I kind of was stuck doing it, right? So my premise behind it was I wanted the characters and the situations to be absurd and ridiculous, but the action to be really cool, right? I wanted people to walk out laughing about this stupid character, but also go, "But did you see when she did that move?" Right? And that's what I wanted out of it.
So now I'm curious because, every state or wherever you're from tends to have its own type of humor. Yeah. So where did you grow up? So we could kind of get a taste of where you come from.
I grew up in Texas. I've been in Austin for 25 years, but I grew up in Texas.
So you grew up all your life. So we're going to get some of that Texas humor in there, I'm supposing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it probably seeps through.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, man. As a New Yorker, you could tell when it's a New York film. Right. Inside jokes that a New Yorker catches, somebody else would be like, "That can't be true," and we're like, "Yeah, no, it's true." Yeah. So as a follow up to that, was it always like a holiday themed Russian mob infiltration adventure, or it kind of evolved into that?
So it was a journey because the story I was telling you was 2019. We crowdfunded in early 2020, and we literally ended our crowdfunding on a Wednesday. And I remember the day that we went crowdfunded, like to look at locations, my director of photography and I, and he's like, "I don't think we're supposed to shake hands anymore. And maybe we're
what?"
And that weekend, everything shut down. Right. So then it was a journey of finally shooting it in 2023. We did 2 other short films, including Looking Back, which played with GeekFest 2 years ago. In the meantime, because they were easier, smaller productions until we could get back to doing this. So it did evolve quite a bit. The Russian mob was always a part of it. I love those 1980s, like silly Russian villains. There's a guy in it who has the gold chains and he has like fake chest hair that zip down, and has all that. Cause I wanted to have that silly Russian villain. As I was rewriting it, I was trying to find different ways. And I'm a huge Shane Black fan. And so I was like, I love the crisp. I mean, you can see Kiss Kiss Bang Bang on my wall right there. Right. Yeah, and so that was kind of my inspiration, was like, I'm going to go all in on Christmas and then make one of the characters dressed as Santa and have fun with that too.
You know what, bro? After people watch this film and what you just said about my man wearing a fake chest piece, I know hair pieces are all the rage amongst men. Now it's going to be chest pieces, courtesy of Michael Charron. I mean, but you need to open up your own store now, the chest piece,
Yeah.
store, designed by Big Mike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, bro, John Wick meets John Hughes gets me hyped type or deal, right? So, how did that master first come to you, honestly? Like this whole idea.
Like I said, I do comedies, right? So comedy is my main thing, and I always try to find a different take on it, right? So Looking Back was a comedy horror drama hybrid about a guy who has a ghost that lives in the backup camera of his car, right?
Yeah, well, and that was wild. I watched that before, and I was laughing my ass off, especially the story because the progression. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. And so I'm always trying to find something. I did a movie about a comedian with a puppet, and it was a comedy thriller, and the puppet's trying to kill him, and he may or may not be real, or the guy's crazy, right? And so I'm always trying to find some other angle. And so to me, I was like, okay, I want to take this action, but again, I want the action to be good, but I also want it to be silly, right? And have fun with it. So I'm always trying to find just a different angle on comedy.
So Jade Betts and Richie infiltrating a Russian mob's Christmas party sounds insane. So inspiration from a real cringy office party, maybe?
No, it was the idea was I wanted these villains to be actually the villains came from a feature script that I have that's
okay.
That I already had these characters that I really loved, and I was like, let me reuse them in this, right? And they're these silly like Russian mob guys, and like the leader is this guy who pretends like he's American. He really wants to be like everything to be American, and like tries to sound he has a little bit of an accent that fades in and out because he's not from there, but he tries.
He's pro America.
And so that was kind of the whole thing. Was he's having an American Christmas party that these Russian guys are part of.
So, all right. So, talk to me about the tone, though. Balancing festive chaos, action, and one-liners. Is that like a juggling act, or is it like a magic trick?
Yeah, it is, because it's juggling, because you're trying to, sometimes on set, especially with comedies, you're like, oh, this is really funny, but then you're like, okay, but is that going too far? And you have to find that line. Like I said, I want the characters and the situations to be silly, but the action to be cool. So there's like one silly fighting section, but the rest of it is all like trying to be serious with that, right?
Okay.
So you have to walk that line, because sometimes you're like, your instinct is like, oh, but this is really funny, but does that change the tone of the film, right? And you're trying to keep it in line.
So, all right. So, staying on that tone, then, what came the easiest? Then, was it the laughs, the fights, or the festive vibe?
Everything but the fights. The fights were
I mean, so, all right. So, talk about them fights, man. How was that action choreography? Did you hire someone?
Yeah.
Was your cast an action-oriented cast, or was this something maybe some of them were doing for the first time?
It was all of that. So
it was a hot mess at first.
Yes,
gotcha.
yes.
Okay.
So we have someone, Kelly Riot, who here in Austin, she is she does martial arts, she does stunt choreography, fight choreography, all that stuff. So she came on board to do that and kind of ran that part of it. And then my two leads, Alicia Rivera, who played Jade, and Ronald, who played Richie, have zero fight training at all. So they had to actually go and do rehearsals and like train with her. But we did bring around, there's like two guys that are flunkies at the very beginning. One of them is a good friend of mine who's been in a lot of my films, who has Kung Fu training. So he had a little bit. And the other guy literally teaches martial arts. So there's a scene where Richie like literally grabs him with that candy cane and flips him over him. And this guy was just like, I'm just going to throw myself over you. All you got to do is just hook it, and I'm going to throw myself. Like he did it, but he threw himself. So we were able to bring in guys like that.
Nice.
The woman that Jade fights is a trained martial artist, right? So it was able to make it sell better by having people who knew how to do it around them. But those two actually,
man, I feel you.
They put in a lot of training for months to get the fights down.
Well, God bless them for doing that, man, for real. So, and also, let me ask you, because it looks like you've been getting a lot of attention for this one. I mean, director, writer attention, best short or best film type, and even stunts based on what you said, right?
Yeah.
Like, what trophy has felt the most surreal, or even like win so far?
It's been a lot. There's been a lot. I personally love when my cast and crew get something, because they work for me for cheap or free, right? Because we're, some of these people I've been friends, my cinematographer and editor, and I've been friends since we were 10, right? And so
Oh,
like,
wow. Ooh.
and so he won 3 cinematography awards for this film, which I absolutely loved, right?
Look,
Because he did
what's
such a
his
great
name?
job.
Drop that name.
Stephen Gunter, right?
There we go. Big shout out, Steve.
Yeah. Eric has won 2. He's the guy with the fake chest hair. He's won several acting awards. Lish ran an award for
Oh,
best
he
actor.
won it because of the fake chest hair?
That's what I think. Richie, so the guy Ronald who played Richie also won a best acting award, supporting actor award, or lead actor actually, but he was up for best stunt performance in a film, and he's the kind of guy that he was like, I never imagined in my life I would ever be nominated for this. So that was cool. But as a comedy filmmaker, you usually get overlooked for like the directing awards. And so I've won a couple of directing awards for this, which was pretty cool, because usually comedies are like, oh, you know, that goes to the dramas or the, you know, the serious.
The dramas, historical, the
Yeah.
stuff nobody actually watches.
Right.
And let's be honest, that's why I hate the Academy. The most bougiest films that nobody watch wins. Come on, man. We watch the stuff that Mike make.
Yeah,
Academy, that's what we're doing.
The comedy or the horror or any of that stuff in the awards, and it sucks. So it's cool to have that transition and be able to have that recognition there.
Let's go with that. Now the crew looks stacked, right? Alicia Rivera, Eric Anderson, Nelson Nathaniel. Like, how'd you even assemble this type of squad, bro? Talk about that promance. How'd you score the squad?
So a lot of that comes from, like I said, you know, my main like crew that does all the posts with me too is my cinematographer, my editor, and I've been friends since we were 10. And my friend who does all the post audio, editing, Foley, score, I've known since I was 11.
Damn.
Eric Anderson, I've known for 25, 26 years now. So basically my entire adult life, we've done every film together. He produces and acts in them. He lets me put fake chest hair on him, right? And then, you know, Lish, she and I have done 5 films together now. I met her through film festivals. She was an actress I saw in other films. I really liked her performances and asked her to be in one, and then she's made everything with me since. And then Ronald's the same thing. He's a filmmaker and actor who I met through the festival circuit, and we really hit it off. And, you know, I write roles for him. So, and then a lot of those other people came from like, oh, Steven, my cinematographer, worked on another film where Kelly Riot was also a second DP on it, and they met and started talking. And then he was like, hey, I'm working on this film that needs a stunt coordinator. And she's like, I would love to do that. So it's building a network in Austin here over the last 20 something years that has really helped do that.
And talk about that. So these youngins understand that and get off their effing phones. How important is it to network and actually go to these physical events, in your opinion, especially as an independent filmmaker?
Oh, it's absolutely essential, right? I find I go to as many as I can because I meet other filmmakers that sometimes it's just like being around other filmmakers and seeing what they do and talking about the process really inspires you to want to do more, right? But also, like I said, Alicia Rivera, I met her by seeing her in other films at festivals. We became friends. I cast her in a film. And then she said after that film, she was like, I want to start producing. Can I start producing your films with you? And I said, yes, please. And, you know, we've made films together ever since, right? So and that wouldn't have happened if I didn't go out and meet people at festivals.
See, I dig it. Now we got to keep talking about the film, man. We got to sell this baby, because I'm going to show you a trailer, folks, just in just a moment. But I got to get this question out, because you say, you know, Stephen Gunter's involved, editor, winning awards. Now, talk about the building of the film. How did you guys capture the slick action comedy energy visually? Like, you know, what was that experience like in building that together? And what type of equipment did you use?
Yeah, so Stephen, we shot it on a red Komodo. And we had, you know, at the time it was the biggest crew we've assembled, right? And we shot it over 6 days. It's 14 minutes, and it took us 6 days because, you know, some of the fight scenes took an entire day. So,
oh wow, really? Crazy.
Yeah, there's one between the 2 lead female actresses where they fight that took most of a day just for that scene. And it was long, and it was fun. It's Stephen brought a really great, you know, he and I, it's funny is talking about comic books, to go back to when Stephen and I were kids, we used to get comic books and we were obsessed with comic books, but he would always just look at the images. And sometimes I would say something about a story from one. I had to be like, no, you have to go back and reread it, because he didn't really read them. He only looked at the images. And while I love the images, I'm more focused on the story. And so it really we meld that way, right? That I'm a very story focused person and he's a very visual person, right? And it kind of helped us like blend in what we do.
Yeah,
And so
I learned that as I got older. I was a very visual guy, but
yeah,
then I started diving deep into stories as I got older, and it's like, oh my god.
yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to artists, love you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, me too. Like, I don't want a comic book that's not drawn well, right? But like, it needs both parts. But like, I trend towards the writer more than the artist, and he trends more to the artist, right? And so it really helped us. We both elevate each other in what we do, right? And so he was able. I let him loose a little bit on this one, and he was able to do some really. There's a scene that's all one take fight sequence, and no one in it is a trained fighter. And I said, I don't think we can do. He's like, let's try it. We got it in 6 takes. So and it's all from him moving. He was on a gimbal, and he was able to move around and get all the shots and get it all done in 1 take.
Well, I think your pet over there is causing some shenanigans.
Yes.
So let me go ahead. I'm about to add this onto stage, folks. Check out this dope little 28-second trailer for the film. And then we're going to continue our conversation. A little bit further. Let you guys know a little bit more. Show off that dope poster and go from there. Check this out. I mean, yo, look at that. Look at them moves, yo. They got the dope moves right there. Jeez, you ain't playing when it came to the action. You weren't lying, bro. Oh my God, bro. That fit, bro. Who the that fit? Oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, Mike. I need to know who is your costume person, because that fit is hilarious.
Danielle Persland. I told her exactly what I wanted, and she came back to me with that. She's like, what about this? I said, that's it. Same thing with the main bad guy. Has this purple, like, shiny paisley shirt, and like, I described what I wanted, and she like, here, what about this? I was like, that's it. Nailed it.
Yeah, that fit just fucking put a smile on my face, because you think Russian gangster, whatever. Yes, that's what they wear. Yeah. Listen, I'm from New York, and I travel all over some certain areas. And yes, yeah, they dress like that hilariously. So yeah, I'm digging it. I can't wait. So talk about the score of the film. Again, because people are gonna love music,
Yeah.
and you got some music here. Did you guys lean into some festive music, or was it just pump up action beats?
So it's a mix of both. Whenever they're in the warehouse where like the Russians work, when it's not a fight scene, we have like kind of like almost Muzak sounding Christmas music playing in the background. Like they're like listening to it in their warehouse where they work. And so there's some of that going on in there. There's a really funny moment with up on the housetop is playing with him dressed as Santa. And then he just did a really phenomenal score that accents the fighting in a way. Like the sound design, again, this is someone I've known since I was 11, and he's one of the best audio editors and scores, and he can do all this stuff really well. But this really pushed him, because I see a lot of independent action films where every punch sounds exactly the same. And he was able to, he's mixing different sounds. He made real sounds. And then he also, a friend of ours who works in post-production gave him a whole folder of 1970s action sounds, and he was able to blend them together to make unique sounds for every hit.
Okay.
And then you top that with the score he did, and it sounds fantastic.
Oh yeah, man! I got a tremendous sound effect package. As I'm here in my own journey, learning how to do things now, because I have time. And yeah, I get that. That's all cool. That's why I love speaking to guys like you and just hearing and kind of feeding into what maybe I could do for myself, right?
Yeah.
So I want to go back to the comic book thing though, right? Because you're saying how you're a writing fan, your boy is an art fan.
Yeah.
So then talk about panels and comic books. How did that guide or even look help tone or the leverage of the film?
I mean, there's a lot of, Steven draws very comic booky, and, our storyboards, he and I storyboard very, we get the image and we storyboard very succinctly of what the edit's going to be. Like, we don't shoot a lot of excess footage. Right. And so, I have a lot of his storyboards, and they're great. They look like comic book panels because he draws.
So when are we getting the graphic novel, Mike?
Yeah, I'd love to one day. It's actually, something I'd love to do one day.
No, you're going to do. You Mike. Yeah, I mean, you're going to do it. It's your future legend in the making here. I mean, You know, you have a lot of stuff. You're winning awards, you're getting attention. That's what's dope here. I mean, but festival runs can be a roller coaster, you know, and this has
Yeah.
kind of been your journey, right? What's been the craziest audience reaction to this film Leverage
To
so far?
this film, I mean, it's people are usually pretty shocked by how good the action is. Like afterwards, that's what I get a lot of response to people is,
Yeah.
for an indie film, a low budget, independent DIY short film that the
Don't even say it. I hate it
well,
for an indie film. No, man.
yeah, but it is like it's
Indie, I get it,
doing
but
it
it's like, I know you're
doing an
doing it.
action film for cheap is hard, and
Yeah,
it
let's use
a lot
those
of people,
words. Doing an
yeah,
action film on the low is cheap. But when you say
yes,
indie, it's like, yo, you guys are
yeah.
doing something. Like, not many people could pick up a camera. You on the circuit, and this is gonna be a full-length feature. But again, the reception has been fantastic, and I mean, I'm happy for you, and I'm pretty sure you must feel proud.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been great. We've had a lot of really great screenings with this film.
All right, so compared to looking back, right, how is directing Leverage different? Obviously, it's more guns and laughs, but what grounded the film emotionally?
So this one is not. This one's very silly, and there's no an emotional grounding like Looking Back. Right? Looking Back has a very personal aspect to it. It's very silly, but it has some. I mean, Looking Back made people cry. Right? There's a moment. And you said you watched Looking Back. There's a moment at the end
Yes.
whenever the car shuts off. You would often in screenings you would hear audible gasps from the audience. Right?
Yeah.
This is people are more excited and happy and laughing.
You
So
know when I gasped when he was trying to take care of that situation and what was said to him. That's
yeah,
when I was like, oh fuck.
yeah,
Oh no.
yeah,
But then what was going on with his life too? That's it. That movie was pretty fucking deep, bro. I mean, if
yeah.
people really watch it, and there's a lot of real deep meaning and things going on there when you watch the film. But looking back is one thing. You can look back on that later. Hey, fuck,
Right,
hey,
right,
look
right,
at that, boom, boom.
right.
But we're talking about Leverage,
Right.
yo. This is the film that you guys gotta check out. So you said 2 years ago you put that last film on this fantastic film festival, GeekFest FilmFest. Shout out below. I mean, what was it about this particular film festival that you said, you know what, I got to bring Leverage into this one too?
I like the idea of going around to Comic Con audiences. I submit to a lot of comic convention type festivals because I feel like the stuff that I make, really fits into that kind of crowd.
Okay, I dig it. I dig it. Now, if you're younger, if younger you
Mhm.
could hear your older self, right, and hear a reaction to Leverage, what would you want him to know, kind of, or react? I mean, how would you want him to react to the film? If
He would probably pretty shocked that I made an action film. And
that
I
was me.
yeah, right. Like
Love the
I,
honesty.
yeah, I mean, just keep doing it, keep plugging at it. If you love doing it, you've just got to keep doing it, right? And that's what I've done over the years. And with each thing you make, you've just got to look to be better than the last, right? Don't try to settle for what you did before. Say, what can I do next time that's different and better than I did last time?
I love it. Now, um, before we close up and wrap up, I mean, there's some things I still want to talk about because
Okay.
listen, I gotta show this baby off because my man got a good looking poster right here. Wepa. I mean, look at that scene. So let us know who is who on this poster. That way, then folks know who they got to be looking out for. These
Yeah.
future actors right here, these big superstars, man.
Yeah. So that's on the top there. That's Alicia Rivera. She
Okay.
is actress and producer on this film, plays Jade Betts. And then in the Santa suit is Ronald Short. He is an actor, producer, writer, director. He makes his own films that are fantastic. I saw a feature he made that blew me away, and I wanted to work with him after that. Right.
Oh, nice.
Then on the right over there is Eric Anderson with the fake chest hair, the wig, the gold tooth, the chains.
Love it.
He is a brilliant impressionist and is just really good at mimicking stuff. And so when I said, hey, I need this accent, I need this, he just nailed it. Right. And then right there in the middle is Bob Fonseca. He's actually a radio host in Austin, has been on morning radio for 30 something years.
Yeah, his face looks very familiar to me. Like I've seen him before.
He plays the vampire very briefly in in Looking Back, the
Oh, okay.
priest.
Oh,
um,
that is him. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right, mira.
Yeah, and so this was a chance to, like, I've had him in small
Nice.
roles in films, and this was like a chance to let him be the big bad, the villain, and he has a lot of
Oh,
fun
that's
with it.
cool.
And then on the left there, bottom left, is Nelson Nathaniel. He's the one I told you who teaches martial arts for a living, is what he does. And he's really funny and great in it. And next to him is Chadwick Smith, who is an
Okay.
actor who's I've done 7 or 8 films with now.
Hey.
And he had a
That.
little bit of he had some kung fu training, so he also helped, work. The two of them worked as a great team. And then bottom right is Sarah Jack. She is a stunt she does, she's an actress, but she also does stunts and martial arts and is a dancer and all that. So she was able to help Lish in their fight scenes really sell the fights.
Oh, I dig it. I mean, what a squad, man! Blast. I mean, and again, people are receiving this well. I can't wait to see the reaction. And when I get to see it in my local Geek Fest, when they come up here to Rhode Island, hey yo, Bill, I'm excited. I'm gonna be voting. I won't say to who is my favorite so far. It ain't fair, but I'll tell you that I feel like I want to enjoy it. I haven't watched this one yet because there was a little mishap in the background, folks. I'll be honest, but I took care of it. My man knows. He
Yeah,
sees. I've been looking info up at the same time, making sure like I'm gonna stay on lane, baby, because this is what it is. Because when we speak to town like this, it's the future stars, and this is what Geek Fest is all about, bringing the best independence. So make sure you can check out Geek Fest. It's geekfestla.com. So you can check out their schedule and where they're going to be in your local hood, your local con. Check them out. I mean, it's definitely one of the best and most fun little film fest. And it's also a time to sit down at a
yeah.
convention. Put your bags down for a minute and then actually, and get a snack and watch some dope films by what is the future of film. Now, I want to close big here, bro.
All right.
I need to talk dream collabo to elevate leverage into a feature. Is there a big name actor, bigger budget, same Christmas mob madness? Who is on your call sheet?
Man, I don't even know. That's something I haven't even thought about that. Uh,
Haven't thought that far ahead.
no, no. No, I've done another short since then, and then we are, I'm working to a feature. It's a different feature. This Leverage was never intended to be a feature. I've done a series of, I think, 8 shorts that have won a year that's been a different type of comedy. So like I'm trying to just show like, hey, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this to try to sell towards doing the next thing, right? The
I
bigger thing.
get that. Yeah, let them know. Like, listen, I'm not. Don't box me in. Don't
Yeah,
box me in, baby. I get that. I could be funny on all different levels. What you want? You want
yeah,
emo? You want hood? You want
yeah,
gangster? What up? That's what it is. See, folks, that when people speak about diversity, this is the type of diversity I really like to talk about: the diversity of talent, diversity of your skill, and let them know that you can handle many different things.
yeah,
Period. I'm pretty sure from Texas, you have hella story to tell.
yeah, I
uh,
do. Yeah.
I'm all right. So growing up in the hood, and I normally ask this question in the beginning, but I want to know before we go because I am curious.
Okay.
Because you said you are a comic book fan.
Yeah.
What are your comic book origins? What was the first thing? Not even. You know what? Let me rephrase that. Don't even think comic book. Just overall. What was the first thing in fandom overall that you ever fell in love with? That you got hooked like crack?
I mean, it was probably comic books. I was very young. My dad was born in 1950, so he was a kid when like he had all the original Spider-Mans and Fantastic Four.
No, he kept them.
Well, it's the famous story. His mother gave them away when he was in college to his cousins. And
Listen, man, our moms, our old school moms. Listen,
yeah,
mommy, I love you. Mommy, I love you. Yo,
yeah,
bro, I had the whole 83, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86 top sets. You know what rookies are in there.
yeah. Yeah.
She dead ass just threw them out.
Oh man.
One day I went home after opening a new pack to put them away. I'm like, "What my cards? Oh, that's garbage."
Oh god. Yeah.
I caught a heart attack, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me tell you, I also caught a spanking that day, but I also caught a heart attack.
Yeah. So I mean, he bought me a pack of comics from some place when I was like probably like 6, and I
Okay.
still remember exactly which comics there was.
What
Like,
is it? Do you
so
have it?
so the main 2 that I remember was they were from the 1980, what was it, 86. It was the 25th anniversary Marvel. Remember the Marvel covers that had the silver
With the borders, yeah.
yeah, with all the
With the
characters
two
in it.
borders, yeah.
Yeah, and so I had the X-Men one with Wolverine in it, which was the beginning of the Morlock Massacre. He was on the cover. And then the Avengers one that has Hercules on it. No, it has Black Knight, but the first page was Hercules.
Black Knight, yeah.
Yeah. And I had those 2, and I read them over and over and over. And was like, especially the X-Men one. I'm a huge Chris Claremont fan. I love his run of the X-Men more than pretty much any other comic series.
So are you happy that he is continuing that story, that X-Men story? And remember, he was doing X-Men Evermore. So now Marvel actually picked it up to be released.
Well, that's John Burns.
Oh, John Burns. That's right. Oh my God.
That was John Burns.
But are you a fan of that run?
Yes, I like John Burns' art a lot. I prefer Chris Claremont's writing. So there's a reason they split. Was John Byrne was trying to take more of the right, wanted to go a different path with the writing, and so that's what he did on the side. I want to read it. I've never read it. So once it gets finished, I'm going to read it. But like everything I've read about it, I'm glad that they went Claremont's way in the writing. But I mean,
I had a friend of mine review it on Comic Crusaders. He did a whole series on what was put out there based on that. I mean, I don't see the hate. It's just, it's different, but you know, it's cool. I mean, you know, kind of a nice what if split, if you will.
Yeah.
But I did meet Claremont in person, and I'll say that he is a nice person. A big shout out to Bud, my friend from the Comic Crew. He did the No Price podcast, and he went to Terrificon over the course of the weekend, and he had met Claremont a year ago, right? And they had a conversation that didn't last too long, but they spoke, right? You know, and shared some stuff. And would you believe that, you know, last weekend, a year later, Claremont sees my homie, remembers his name, asks him about the son and everything. How is everything going based on? And he's like, "Oh my God, this dude remembered."
That's awesome.
Yeah, like, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, right?
Yeah, no, that's so cool to know. Like, I've heard only good things about him. I want to meet him someday. I haven't gotten around to it. I haven't been able to. But
I got to speak to him also at a Terrificon maybe several years ago, and what got me a little upset though is that I didn't see fans around him.
Yeah,
you know, they're around the younger cats. You know, and no hate to the younger cats, but those younger cats wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a dude like him.
Right.
Like, you know, even that same con, Marv Wolfman was at a table, and no one was paying attention to him. I'm like, me and my boy Bud, because he was with me that day, we just looked at each other. Yo, we were shocked. And so we went up to him, "Hey, Marv," you know, but of course, after his appearance on the CW show, all of a sudden people cared about him.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, yo, you got to be on TV to be noticed. Nah, man, show love now.
That's wild. Those guys are legends. Like, that's who you want to meet, right? Like, you can meet the other guys once they're legends.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, I have a bad story with a Marvel artist. You know that I was so excited to meet that person. I was with my daughter, and that dude didn't even have the decency to pick up his head and look at me in the eye and say hello. Like, you know, very dismissive. You know, and I was like, okay, so I had to tell my daughter, not all of them are like this. I'm sorry, baby. You know.
Yeah. I've met some greats. I met my other favorite comic run of all time is the Justice League International era of the 80s. And I got to meet Kevin Maguire. I actually have
my God,
signed down there by him.
You got to meet him. Nice. Yeah. I haven't got to meet him yet.
Super chill and nice guy, and like it was a good conversation.
Excellent. And what do you? All right. So let's dive into your nerding before we go. So, what do you think about the current superhero films that are dropping? Like, you know, we've seen Superman drop. Yeah. We've seen Fantastic Four drop. You know, DC Marvel going at it once again in the cinemas. I mean, have you seen them, and what are your thoughts?
Well, as I just said, I love the Justice League International era, and James Gunn is very much leaning into that. So
thank you. Yeah, thank you for understanding that. I had someone telling me, No one cares about the characters. I like, are you fucking yo? Are you not a comic book fan? Then you don't know about this, that, the other. That's why those characters are there. They're prominent in that. But as
Yeah.
not a reader, or listen, I even watched Justice League cartoon. I mean, bro, those are characters that are prominent in that shit. That's
Yeah.
what he's leaning on. Like,
Yeah, Guy
you're
Gardner
so
and
ignorant.
Metamorpho, and like I loved it. I mean, I love James Gunn. I love the Guardians movies. I love everything he does. Right, I've been a fan of his a long time. So I mean, going back to, I think the first thing I remember seeing of his was Slither, and adored that movie.
I like that movie.
Yeah, and like, you know, he's great. So yeah, Superman. I'm not a huge Superman fan. Like, I'm a huge DC fan. I read a ton of it, but it wasn't my preference. But like James Gunn being involved, I knew I was gonna love it. Right.
Okay, so you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right, but I mean, I thought it's a great movie. I have no hate on it. I don't understand how people hate on it so much. They
loved
want
it.
to find such deeper meaning. For me,
Yeah.
I'm an old school comic book reader, and again, I'm seeing so much Timverse in this stuff in this version of him, you know, but not yet with the arrogance, because that's the one thing that the Timverse Superman had. He was a little arrogant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're getting this young Superman. He's still starting out. So what if I hate when people say, "Oh, he got mad when I was," yeah, it's right. He's Superman. He wants to stop things. He doesn't know
Yeah.
any better. He's not American to him. He's like, I'm a good person. That's who he is. This movie showed hope.
Yeah.
Like, are you against hope, folks?
Yeah,
Like,
what is
going on?
It was a beautiful film. I mean, I thought it was very apt politically,
That's
and like
all.
everything's going on. Like, I enjoyed everything about it.
Yeah, it's just a hopeful movie, just wanting better for the world. That's all I saw. Yeah, everybody want to take this shit in such a horrible context. Relax. It's Superman. He's a good person that just wants the best for the world. I mean, alien. That wants the best for the world. An alien that cares more about this earth than the very humans. How sad.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, but Mike, you're a boss. I love it. You're a geek. You're a movie boss, and you got shit going on. So before we go, where will you be? Will you be like making any of the GeekFest events where we could see you in person, or you doing any other cons that we could see you in person, shake your hand, pick up a DVD or sign or poster and get it signed? What's popping?
I don't think I'm going to be able to make those weekends of the two cons that I know of right now that they're doing. I will be at a festival the same weekend as one of those I was already going in, called Genre Blast in Winchester, Virginia.
Yeah.
It's a big genre festival, so I will be there for that. And a couple in Texas coming up, and we'll see what's going on after that.
Excellent, folks. This is what you guys do. You got to visit the website right there, that Rogue Alchemy Pictures, baby. So when people
Instagram is where I post everything. By the way,
everything right here on this one, you mean Rogue Alchemy Pictures, Facebook, Instagram. So, but you're an Insta boss. So when people want to know anything that's going on with you, they got to go to that Insta.
Yep. Yeah, that's the best place for it.
There you go, folks. Check them out. Rogue Alchemy Pictures, man. This is my man here, Mike Charron, baby. Check out the film leverage, GeekFest FilmFest. Go to geekfestla.com so you can know where they're going to be at next. So you can sit down, get that popcorn, get all comfy, and watch this very, very dope film. And I'm telling you, you guys are going to be entertained. This guy is about sci-fi. You heard him. He's the nerd. Did you hear the nerddom in his voice? I mean, this is what we need. So, Big Mike, thank you again for coming on. I can't wait to talk to you again to see what's next in the future, because you said you did another one. But let's not tease. That's enough tease for the folks.
All right.
Come on next time. Do the trailer. Do the posters. Even bring out some of your cast. Let's go. I want to talk to these people, man. I want to know everything about the Charron verse, baby.
Yeah, man. That'd be fun. I'm down.
Yeah, it would be. All right, bet. So, open door, baby. And to you Crusaders out there who tuning in, thank you. To you GeekFesters out there, thank you. We appreciate you supporting independent film and independent creators and just independent media as well. So stay tuned. We got a whole lot more coming through from the GeekFest this year with amazing directors. So again, geekfestla.com. Check them out. Check out my big man Mike. All the links are in the show notes below. That's what it is. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. ¡Huepa!